Yeah, welcome back from that background report on the application of ICT in schools. And now in the studio with me is Mr. Daniel Toyin. He is an ICT administrator, and he is here to tell us more about, the importance of ICT in our schools. Good morning and welcome to the studio, sir.
Good morning.
It's good to have you. We like people like you here and in our schools.
Thank you for having me.
So, yeah. So, sir, looking at ICT in school, what is the use of, the benefits of ICT in our education system?
Okay, I'm just going to quickly outline seven and tag them as
Seven.
trends. Yes, very briefly, seven. Okay,
Okay.
so the first would be the area of hybrid or blended learning.
Okay.
Now, this before COVID, we're
Mm.
privileged to be steps ahead. So when the COVID came, we were not interrupted. Our system still went on like regular classrooms, even though our students were at home.
Yeah.
So the adoption of blended learning, which is the traditional and online type of learning, helped us. So
Yeah.
if it's infused across schools, it's going to give every school a leap. And the other one is in the area of artificial intelligence and machine learning. We understand that for some subjects, it's required that you summarize certain literatures. 10
Yeah.
pages can be summarized into 2 or 3 with the use of artificial intelligence in that area of generative AI. So we teach our students this. We encourage them not just how to use it, but the mechanics of how it works. Then the other area I would like to outline is the area of robotics. We are heavy on robotics.
Yeah.
We just came back from an international a few months back
I
for a
know.
Dallas competition. And we teach
How did
our
it go?
students. It was excellent. It was excellent. We teach our students how to really use this robotics through a medium of RPA. RPA is robotic process automation. If a human can get the job, if 10 humans can get the job done, that just one robot can do. So why use 10 when you can save cost, when you can save yourself a lot of time and just give it to the robot? So we teach our students how to train these robots, how to develop these robots, and of course, how to deploy the robots. The another area we use ICT is in the area of gamification and immersive learning. Now, we understand we're in a time where the attention span of most of our students are really short.
Yeah.
I mean, the likes of TikTok is giving you really catchy videos in a couple of seconds. Now, their minds have been
So we need
conditioned.
to get them something positive.
Yes. If you don't keep me if you don't keep me that long in a short period of time, then you're losing me. So what we do is that we use technologies like VR. We use technologies like Mosaic 3D, where you can spread open a human heart on the screen. You can turn it and see in real time how the human heart works, how the human body works, digestive system. That is what we deploy. And usually when we adopt this method, you can see their hearts in what they learn. You can see the excitement.
Yeah, you're making it interesting for them.
Yes, very interesting for them. So this is what we do with gamification and immersive learning. Another area we deploy ICT is in the area of IoT, Internet of Things and embedded learning.
Yeah.
So basically, Internet of Things is sensors, action, and network. So it senses a thing, it takes action, and it basically reports back to you. That's where the communication now comes in. A student in our primary session developed an IoT system that alerts you when when your hand is coming close to your face. Now, this idea came up when the whole COVID don't touch your hand, don't touch your face, and all that. So we were thinking along the lines of how to stay safe and all of that. So they came up with that innovation as regards how to use, and that's just a branch of IoT. There are a lot of things our students are using IoT for, and a lot of benefits in the educational sphere. So that's an area of IoT and embedded system. Then another area is that of device usage. We're privileged to have all our students use physical devices, right? So that way they can easily engage. They can easily engage with their learning and all of that. And so we also use what we call an interactive board. Now, for you to really engage these guys, there's this usually big board, interactive board, about 65 inches, where we deploy these 3D models and the VR models. That's where we also have. I didn't mention
on a wider screen.
A wider screen, yes.
You get their interest.
Yes, get interest. You spread it, you compress it, and all. We also have this VR headset, virtual reality, where they can go to places without even living where they are. So we want to go for excursion in Canada to live where we are. Just give them these glasses, and they can actually walk through the street of Canada to give them that immersive feel. So those are just the areas.
Also, how has it helped you, to make your work easy?
Okay, for an IT person, as an IT administrator.
Or the teachers at the schools.
Okay, from the perspective of a teacher, right? Okay, for the teachers, it has compressed the conventional way of teaching for them. It has made it easier for them.
Don't you think it makes the teachers lazy?
No, it's quite the opposite. It gives you time to think
Okay.
and get more creative.
Okay.
Now, away from the regular lesson notes, draft, so those ones we still do them for sure.
Okay.
But we go the next step of okay, how else can we actually translate this thing into real life usage?
Okay.
So it has helped them reduce, of course, help them to think. Yeah, one area I didn't mention is in the area of computational thinking and coding. The phone you're holding doesn't understand your name, it doesn't understand colors. What it understands is ones and zeros. So we teach the students beyond just playing these things, beyond just playing the games you play, you need to understand the inner workings of these things. It is said that to solve a problem, you need to be the master of that problem. Know how the problem works, know what caused it. That way you can design systems around beating that problem. So through computational thinking and coding, we teach these guys how to code. That game that moves from one level to another, how does it work? So with that, they really understand. Just beyond the I'm using it, you need to understand how it works.
So how are the students looking at it? Apart from it's interesting, I know, but how has it helped them?
It has. Our students, most of our students, if not nearly all, actually leave our school or graduate with a skill. And beyond that, we run a program we call Millionpreneur. It's already speaking for himself. Million entrepreneur. Yes. So we're teaching you, okay, you know the skills. You know how to use them. You need to understand how to pitch these ideas.
And how
you need
to make money.
Yes, how to make money. And the beauty about it is when you get to year 12, we send you on internship.
Really?
Yes, you go on internship for a couple of weeks to give you a perfect picture of, okay, you want to be this, right? Okay, have a feel of it.
This is what you're heading towards.
Yes. So it's really transforming.
So what's the influence of ICT, in the education system in Nigeria?
Okay, in Nigeria, I would say most schools are actually picking up pace.
Okay.
Honestly, we are miles ahead. So I can speak for a couple of schools I know within Nigeria who do or come close to what we do. But it's really beneficial. I mean, the list is endless. The list is endless in learning now skills, learning future skills, and of course, what's sustainable in a classroom. So the list is endless. The benefit is endless.
So what type of ICT can be used in these schools?
Okay, by type, do you mean the hardware?
The hardware, the software, and then, kids, you can just give them the tab.
Okay.
So, when you give them the tab, they might end up using it on a different thing. There are so many things on this iPhones, tabs, and everything. So, what are the types of apps that you can put into their own system?
Okay.
Just to restrict them to that educational part.
Okay. For every child we issue our tablets to, there's what we call device policy.
Okay.
Now, in that device policy, it does two things. First, it tells you where to go and where not to go to. Okay. And it gives you the number of applications we use. So if I install a device policy on your device, for example, if you go to Play Store, you are only going to find educational applications.
So you're restricted to that educational
You are configured within just that educational part. So that's the way we're able to limit them from going elsewhere. So that's for the hardware. Then for the software, we use learning management system, both locally and internationally. We have partnership with local vendors and, of course, Microsoft and Google Workspace. And those guys are designed strictly for education. So for the software, we use the LMS. For the hardware, we use devices that are controlled by the school. And students are not supposed to, or they do not go beyond. Basically, if I install our policy on your device, it takes over your device. So I get to monitor what you do on that scale.
Just like the
Google Family Link, yes, but for administration or for organization.
Okay.
That's how it works.
So how do you not, as an administrator, what can you tell other schools, to get engaged in this type of ICT, to bring ICT into their own schools? Okay,
first, I'll be honest with you by saying it's not cheap.
I like that.
But then
you're saying the truth.
Yes, but then you can scale. You can begin with one device. You can begin from a school-owned device.
Okay.
A school of 1,000 students. You can begin with 50 devices and have a central place where those devices are, so that when the students come into that centralized place, they can use it and leave. What we do is called the BYOD system. It's bring your own device. We also have our devices, or you can bring your own device, use within the school. Just that our policy needs to be on that device. So for schools that are intending to go into this type of large scale use of ICT, you can start small. You can start with 50 devices. You can start with just one big board, but make sure it's centralized. That way, when they come in, they use and they go with still use. Yeah.
Interesting. This is a very good, conversation, and I'm sure a lot of people don't think that, we all as parents, we feel given tablets or, computers these days is something of, as a parent, I'm scared to give them. But now you're telling me, okay, there are things that you can put on that system that will reassure me that it's safe for them to have it. So your final words to students out there and parents like me.
Okay, my advice to students is technology has come to stay. The earlier you accept it, the better your competitive edge. Then for parents, please be open-minded about technology. We understand that you're not in the Gen Z and the generation that came after Gen Z, but a lot has happened since your generation. So please be open-minded to accepting this technology.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Daniel.
Thank you so much.
I would really appreciate you here. So he said parents like us that are not Gen Z, technology is here to stay. So please allow your kids to, have the iPad, this thing. They have an they have an app that can be safe for them. We're gonna short break, and when we come back, news in